Hey guys, so today I'm going to be reviewing Shadowhunters episode 19 from season 2. I know this is coming later on in the series, but I started watching it recently and I'm up to date, but I thought I would do a review episode from the episode now because I thought it would be a little weird to go backwards. Um, so I'm going to be talking about the main points of what has happened in the episodes. So the first thing I want to cover is the Downworlders working against the Clave with the Sealy Queen. Well, Magnus, we already know, left to join them because of the whole Alec and the Soul Sword ordeal with Alec. Well, you wouldn't think that Raphael and Luke would join him, and it never explained why. But they trust Magnus, and they know they have to look out for their own kind. So the Downworlders basically tell the Clave and the Shadowhunters that they're not going to work with them, that they're going to look for Valentine on their own. Which they end up finding him, the Wolfpack does, but then Valentine and Jonathan decide to abandon them, the Circle members, and let them fight the wolves. So yeah, that's what happened with the main Downworlder group. Then you have Simon and Maya's relationship going closer because Simon was yelling about how his mom was paying for college and he was getting all Simon-y, where he nerds out and talks really fast. And Maya was like, "What if I like you?" And then the next thing you know, Maya's kidnapped. And that's not good. She was kidnapped by the Sealy Queen too, so. And right after Simon told her that she's going to try to have to unite everybody, which is where she's going to have to get used to some criticism from people and some rejection. The next thing I loved about that episode was Raphael finally apologizing to Isabel about how he made a mistake and that he knows their relationship isn't all about drinking each other's blood and the Isabel having the venom, and she says she knows, and then he's like, the only good thing about being on the brink of war is being able to stand in front of you, and that made me cry. Literally, I was crying, guys. No, it wasn't a good thing. And I loved it. The next thing is I loved the whole Clace moment. Clace was the best thing in that episode. When Jace and Clary decide to use their angelic bond to track Sebastian because Clary has Morgenstern blood. The whole them hugging and glowing, Clary getting him shirtless. Yes, it was beautiful. It was every Clace fan's dream. She deserved that moment too, with everything that's been going on with the stupid Sealy Queen. And then they end up tracking him in a graveyard when they were going to get weapons, Jonathan and Valentine. Then Jonathan was to end up tracked in the graveyard with Valentine. So Valentine decides to go and make a bunch of Forsakens to defend Jonathan and keep the Shadowhunters busy while they are fighting. And yeah, that was not a good thing on Valentine's part. So once the group comes to the church where they track Sebastian, they end up going in teams to look for Jonathan. Well, then there was the whole Clary and Jace both saying, "I'll take Alec," and Jace saying, "I'll take Alec," Clary saying, "I'll take Izzy," at the same time. And then Izzy's like, "I'm going to think something happened with Jace," and then Alec just asks nothing about it. And Jace is like, "Thanks," and he's like, "I'm ready to. I'll tell. I know you're gonna talk if you want to." So then they end up going into battle and everything, and then Jace gets kidnapped, and then Clary and Izzy find Alec. Well, they all end up fighting together, and then she asks where Jace was, and he's like with Jonathan. And so she sends Izzy after him because Izzy has the Electra and her whip. So Alec and Clary are left alone to fight the Forsaken. And that must have been great because, we obviously knew they have had their ups and downs, but they're still good. They're still a good pair. I like Izzy's speech to Sebastian, how she was like, "You killed my brother after you saw me in the weakest part of my life. I trusted you. I brought you in my family. I showed you my friends. I let you see me vulnerable." And then Sebastian's like pulling her with whip towards her in pain, and he's like, "I saved your life and all this crap." And I'm like, way to be able to throw that back in someone's face. Um, Poor Izzy. But then, Sebastian beforehand, there was this big battle between Sebastian and Jace. It was like Jace was getting strung up. He told Sebastian that um, Valentine left him and that he wasn't going to come back. And he's like, "Well, he came back for me, though. Proves I'm his favorite JC." And he's like, Jonathan like pulls him down, starts trying to beat him up. He gets Jace's lung. He's like, "There's a spot I want to show you where you can go through the back of the spine, through the heart." Then the battle between Sebastian changes once Izzy's there and is starting to get him on the ropes. And then Jace is behind him and stabs him in that same spot. And he's like, "That spot that goes to the spine through the heart, Father showed me that too." And he gets thrown into the lake. And we think Sebastian dies. More on that in a minute. Then the final big event was at the end where Valentine decides to meet with the Seelie Queen. He ends up saying something that he knows the Seelie Queen will want, something that he has that she's going to want. And she decides to like trust him. So I hope we see more on them being like teams. But what I was saying about Sebastian dying, I can guarantee you they're not going to leave Sebastian like dead, because one, he's a demon. So we've heard and seen that demons can come back. They just take a while to come back. And if you've read the books, we know that can't just be it for him, because Sebastian's like not there when Valentine dies, but he's there to fulfill Valentine's spot afterwards. He's there to fight Jace. He gets Jace on their side. We know all that stuff with Clary happens with Sebastian. And the whole Lilith thing happens with Sebastian. Like, they can't just leave Sebastian dead and Valentine do whatever. I mean, they've trailed so far off the books already. And I don't think they're gonna like go that far. I don't think Sebastian's going to be dead. But leave me a comment if you think Sebastian's dead, and tell me what your favorite Shadowhunters episode is in the comments. Please subscribe, comment, like, and share. I would love to figure out what your favorite Shadowhunters theories are, and please tell me again if you think Sebastian is dead, because I do not. So yeah, thank you, and please subscribe.